Good day, beautiful people. Nova Scotia has yet another example of a person being evicted, all because a landlord skirted the bylaw to charge people more. Meet Floyd, a 74-year-old man who had no issues with his landlord except for the fact that his landlord wanted to switch to auto payments. Floyd, being a senior, didn't quite understand those mechanics and wanted to stick to the method he was paying before, which was bank drafts, which is pretty simple request. The landlord started making every excuse under the sun to get this guy out, including things like, oh, we had a history with them, even though they had no evidence. So they switched it to major renovations needed to be done. While illegal, there's still a process you need to follow. So then they switched it to, well, the tenant never paid rent. It wasn't that they never paid rent, the landlord just refused that payment method. On top of all this wasn't the only person being evicted. The landlord was trying to evict some of the neighbors as well, and also indicated that the new owner was trying to move in a family member. The residential tenancies pointed out that the very form this landlord was using to evict these people was incorrect, because it only works on for 4 units and below, not the building that they were in. This eviction was completely disallowed, but they went ahead and did it anyway. How did they evict this guy? Well, they waited till he went away for a few days, then went into his unit, changed the locks, and started throwing out his possessions, and the guy didn't even know about it till a neighbor called and told him. Now, thankfully, this guy is renting a room in a house nearby, but of course it's not permanent. Of course, it didn't take long for the landlord to show their true colors, as they doubled the rent from $737 to nearly $1,500. Issues like this is why we have a growing unhoused population. With winter finally setting in with not only cold temperatures, but with predicted winter storm warnings such as 15 to 30 centimeters of snow that's about to hit, Halifax and Nova Scotia both need to do more to protect its people. It doesn't involve kicking them over encampments, all because they want an area to put snow. Thankfully, we do have a saving grace, as volunteers do step up to do their best to help those who are unhoused, including this group of volunteers that has a combined effort between the Mi'kmaq Native Friendship Center and the Grinch Operations, which is founded by Halifax firefighter Leroy Fontaine. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. These guys team up and are traveling across the Halifax Regional Municipality, delivering things such as winterized gear, food, among other items that these people need to survive. Just for some context, this is one of the designated encampments the city picked for people to live in. This is just a wooden area by the ferry terminal with no real shelter, but they were like, you know what, that's a good spot for people. There has been the rare accident where a fire has destroyed some tents because people were trying to stay warm. The lack of support from the municipality in the province, people are doing whatever they can to stay warm, even though the city put up signs stating they don't want them to have any propane or electricity to stay warm during these cold temperatures. So naturally, some people are hesitant to want to donate towards helping these people winterize their gear, because the last time they did was at the Grand Prairie Square encampment, which was designated by Halifax. But the moment Halifax changed their mind on that, they had the Halifax police destroy all that gear, instead of, giving it to the other encampments who could use that gear to survive. The least thing that Halifax can do, if they're going to slack on everything else, is at least open up some heating shelters so people can stay warm during the very cold days of this year. But they have yet to even announce those. We have ample locations that we could turn into a makeshift heating shelter that won't be a hindrance to anyone. But that requires funding and people to run it. And we all know, based on prior actions, Halifax and Nova Scotia does not like doing this kind of work themselves. They rather dump it in the hands of non-profits and organizations that are already heavily overburdened as it is. But that's my 2 cents on everything. I'm very curious to know what your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below.